Cheery gospel this morning, yeah? I remember the first time I visited New York City. Show of hands, have you been in New York City? Manhattan? Yeah. As we walked the long avenues, I could not help but marvel at the towering skyscrapers, one after the other, building after building after building, and they all seemed to stretch all the way up into the clouds. I think I spent most of the time with my mouth wide open, gawking up at the buildings, trying to take it all in. I wonder if this is what it was like for the people in today's gospel, feeling awestruck and mesmerized at the grandeur of the great temple, staring straight up with their mouths wide open, taking in all the magnificence and splendor that it offered. The temple was an awe-inspiring wonder that had been rebuilt and newly constructed by King Herod, who self-styled himself as the Great. Isn't it awesome? I'm Frank the Great, you know? And he constructed it not necessarily because he thought it was a good place to go worship. He constructed it with the motive of being a monument to his own greatness. For him, the temple was a testament of his power, and it was an everlasting memorial to himself and his greatness. Now, to give you a sense of its magnitude, it took up 1/6 of the ancient city of Jerusalem. The massive temple courtyard, there are several courtyards, but the courtyard itself alone encompassed 172,000 square feet, which is the size of about 18 regular tennis courts or a Walmart supercenter. Think of that, and how many of the courtyards there were. The retaining walls, those walls that stretched around it, were constructed by hand-chiseled stone blocks that were roughly 40 feet long, each stone. They weighed anywhere from 350 to 500 tons each. And they were stacked side by side by side by side, stretching for about 1,500 feet in length. Think about the engineering and the effort that would take to build that. The foundation went down into the ground at least 65 feet. And the southwest corner of the temple platform rose over 200 feet above the ground. The whole complex, the whole thing, was larger than the theme park Universal Studios Florida. I looked it up. It's on the internet, it must be true, but it is. And Herod reportedly used so much gold to cover the outside walls that anyone who would gaze at those walls in bright sunlight, it would be like blinding to them. The temple was thought to be a permanent landmark on the Jerusalem landscape, a lasting symbol of Roman power and dominion, a grand and magnificent structure for all kingdoms, for all ages to come, said Herod, and everyone would be envy it. What is it about grandness and grandeur that allures us so deeply? I mean, maybe it's just natural for us to marvel at the sheer size or the immense scale of some of the phenomena that we see in the natural world. Or maybe it's the splendor of art and architecture, or the great feats of human achievement like the 7 wonders of the world, the Great China Wall. Who among us has not wondered in amazement, looking at the vastness of the ocean, or not too long ago, just a few days ago, the beauty of the northern lights? We posted, everybody posted, didn't they? Made the news. We wonder about it. We're in amazement about it. Or we see a glorious sunset. But I wonder if there is also a personal and pastoral perspective that we should consider about our attraction to grandness and greatness. Maybe it has to do with our vulnerability, with our imperfections and inadequacies, with our faults and our flaws, with our unspoken worries and anxieties. Maybe when we compare ourselves to the Great Wall of China, our problem seems pretty small in comparison. Or that when we look at our lives and compare that to things that we think are imperishable or incorruptible or indestructible and everlasting, we feel a bit smaller in the world. Or maybe we quietly fear that our life's worth isn't all that inspiring. Worried that our lives and our routines and all our effort and all the energy that we expend can never quite measure up. When that happens, our aspirations and our successes and our advances, somehow we need them and use them to help boost our self-worth. That the bigger and better is the ultimate and only standard to measure our influence or our impact or our importance. What do these great stones represent for you? Do they represent something that is not fulfilled in you? That if only you had more or did more or were more, then your life would be remarkable and important and worthy and fulfilled and complete. What are you longing for that seems beyond your reach? On what shiny edifices do you sometimes pin your hopes to? In our weaker moments, we are more susceptible to fabricating or building our sense of value and our self-worth and our lasting legacies out of the wrong material. Like Herod, we can deceive ourselves into thinking that the great stones in our life, the great pillars, they're going to last forever. And when we believe these things are invincible, Jesus is here to remind us today that their value adds up to nothing. Zero. Their worth is meaningless. Their memory is fleeting and temporary. Their importance and significance is deceptive. Jesus says, not one of these stones will be left upon the other. All of it will come crumbling down. So maybe in today's gospel, though it sounds like an apocalyptic doomsday warning, maybe it's not what Jesus is getting at. Maybe what he is getting at today is compelling us to see beyond the facades and the false promises of things that are temporary and meaningless. To see beyond the things that lack real value and importance, even if and when they seem pretty permanent and unbending. In Jesus' day, looking at that temple, it was believed it would stand forever. Maybe Jesus is presenting us with a different vision about what is truly lasting and meaningful. What really matters to God, what is genuinely magnificent and enduring, what will never come crumbling down, The things that have lasting impact and influence are not found in outperforming and outshining everybody else. I know that's not the message of the world, but in Jesus' world, that is not what is outlasting. It's not in how hard you work. It is not in how much you have amassed and personally achieved in your life. While all of those things are good, they are not lasting. None of these will stand the test of time. None of them contain enough power or weight or value or worth that is lasting. Instead, what does have lasting value and has infinite worth are the things that often go unnoticed or are dismissed as trivial by our larger society. What really matters is the way that you show up in your life, the way you present yourself to the world and live out each day. Your life has lasting impact and influence when you make a difference in the life of someone else, when you offer kind gestures, when you show up to work every day, when you volunteer your time, and when you pay things forward. It matters. It matters, and it makes a lasting difference when you tell someone, "I love you." It matters and makes a lasting difference when you admit that you are wrong and when you forgive others when they are wrong. It is about the blood, sweat, and tears that you put into growing as a person, that you put into living with intention, being consistent in your words and your actions, and doing the right thing in a reliable way, even when no one is watching. These things may never earn you a gold medal or a plaque on the wall, but they are the things that have enduring influence on others around you, and they will never come crumbling down. This is the stuff that lasting legacies are truly made of. These are the footprints that you and I will leave behind. How we lived our life. I think Mr. Rogers may have said it best when he said, "The greatest and most enduring thing in life is to help someone know that they are loved and that they are capable of loving others." Perhaps this is an alluring message which we can all marvel at and embrace. Amen.